Good morning, friends, I see you here. Thank you for joining. Let's spread the cheer. With coffee in hand and smiles on our face, together we'll share this warm, sacred space. So raise your cup, let's toast to the day. With the sun on the horizon, we'll laugh and play in this little corner of the world so bright. Here's to the moment, here's to the light.
The sky's painted gold as the sun starts to rise. We're sharing our stories under pastel skies. With every sip, we're weaving our dreams. In this virtual gathering, it's better than it seems.
So raise your cups, let's toast to the day. With the sun on the horizon, we'll laugh and play in this little corner of the world so bright. Here's to the moment, here's to the light. Let's breathe in the beauty, feel the warmth of the sun.
With each passing minute, we're having such fun.
From every comment and every sweet smile,
We're building this bond. Let's stay for a while. There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be. But they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn. But they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's a dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Ooh, cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feelings, not anymore. So let's show them that love is pure, no matter who it's for. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's a dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Desert Adventures in Arizona, coming to you live from the Ironwood Forest National Monument. Enjoying a cup of coffee with my Roy and Becky travel cup, one of my channel members. So thank you everybody for being here. Good. All right. Let's see who we have in the chat this morning. Carla's here. Welcome, Carla. I think I saw her on Ava's chat this morning. So welcome. Good to have you. Always start Monday mornings with Ava Potterfield and friends and all our friends in the chat. And there's Ava right there. Welcome. Good to see you. And she is the first channel member in the house. She actually has a gifted membership. So this time next month, you'll get a reminder, and don't feel obligated. It's not necessary, but you get to watch any members only videos that I put out. And I did put out one that I shared with everyone. So any of the gifted members, be sure to check that out. Step Van Dan has been a long time member. I appreciate that. And he's heading to town. So safe travels. There's Captain Jack, another channel member. And we spent some time with him out here in Ironwood. So working and lurking. There's Tracy. Hello, hello, hello. Good to have you. All the way from Virginia. Oki and I lived in Virginia for 3 years back in the 90s. Beautiful place, but boy, the traffic is tough. Scrolling. There's Janice from Oz. Welcome, welcome. It's probably 2 o'clock in the morning for Janice, so I know you're here, and I appreciate it very much. Have Cheetah Will View. There's Patrick. Welcome, welcome. Patrick does very interesting interviews with people in the film industry, and I caught one of those the other day. So welcome, Patrick. Good to see you. Steve caught me again. It's almost 2 a.m. and I'm still awake. Well, it's good to have you. Maybe I'll put you to sleep, Janice, with my droning as I get deeper into the live stream. I know old Ron Darrell Adventures used to brag about that. He said, I put more women to sleep than anybody, because he used to have late night live streams, and I know Janice was in there too. There's Captain Jack saying hello to everybody. Ava's popping in saying hello to everybody. There she is. There's Van Girl Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. She moved into her sticks and bricks recently, and then she's continuing her work on her van and making modifications, making things a little more comfortable, a little more organized, and that's looking good, Cheryl. There's Catherine Cook. Welcome, welcome. Hope Homer's doing okay with his hand. I understand he had an operation on his hand to fix a major boo-boo. Weather's starting to warm up in Australia. No heating needed last night. Nice. We're starting to cool off here in the morning, so we can kind of feel that fall is in the air. Let's see. It was 66 this morning when I stepped outside. Very first thing we do in the morning is we get up, brush our teeth, and we walk outside and make it a point to watch the sunrise. Hey Siri, what's the weather here today?
Expect some clear skies today.
All right, it's going to be 99 here today, and that's pretty much going to be our normal for September, but the nights are starting to cool off. And so first thing in the morning, we shut the air conditioning off, and then we open the house up, put some fans, blow some cool air in. And then right now I have the swamp cooler running in the garage into the house. So I've got that running on solar, so it doesn't cost anything on the electric bill until it starts to push, 100 degrees. Then I'll shut it off and flip the air conditioning back on. But works pretty well. Spring has sprung at last where Janice is. Awesome. Ava's working and lurking, and I'm drinking coffee. Ava's part of that Van Girl Cheryl challenge to do a video every day. So there's a number of channels, about 15 of them, I think, that are dropping daily videos. And keeps me busy watching them all. There's Crafty Traveler, another channel member in the house. Good morning, good morning. Oh, we had an oopsie. I know it's easy when you're, especially if you're on your phone, if you don't even have to touch the screen, but just hover over it, and then you get a pop-up, and you can accidentally delete someone from the chat. There's CR View, another channel member in the house. Welcome, welcome. And I watched one of Tim's videos. He did a video on, and anyone who wants to drop links, go right ahead. He did a video on moving into the LTVA. So he's back in the LTVA, and I understand they'll be there for about 8 months. So nice to be back at home again. Okay, I just returned from another fun camp out, this time at Hat Creek near Mount Lassen Volcanic National Park. Awesome. So Crafty Traveler does videos on her campouts. She's a very busy camper. She hangs out with a group of ladies that she's part of, and she makes some pretty good videos. She also made an overseas trip, right, Lonnie? There's Ringo and Czar, another gifted channel membership. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you, Kyle. There's Ray Crum, another long-time channel member. Thank you, Ray, for being here. Appreciate it very much. And Ray is coming to us from Ohio if he's not traveling. Now 2:05, she says. The only way I make it to 2:05 a.m. is if I have to go up and get up and go tinkle at night. And that's just about every night. Lonnie, I don't think any prices are going up this year. I think the prices are remaining the same everywhere on all the BLM land, and there's no charges that have been instituted for ironwood, no. Good to have you, Carol. Welcome, welcome. Let me get the boy in here to say hi. Lucas. Here comes Lucas. There he is. Hi, Lucas. So first thing we do in the morning, Lucas comes and wakes us up about 5 a.m. And then he waits for us to brush our teeth and drink some water. And then we go out in the morning for a walk around the property, checking for rattlesnakes, right? Your job is to check for snakes. So we watch his reaction when we walk around, because he's sniffing here and there. And then once we come back to the house from our tour around the property, then we get his ball and off we're playing. And we're playing fetch. Captain Jack is on Ringo's property in Hudsonville, Michigan. Very nice. Maybe that's why he got me to mod for him. That's right. It was daytime, my time, and not late at night. Yep. That's for sure. Laverne is looking very sharp. That's Fangirl Cheryl's band, Laverne. You're welcome. You're welcome. Scrolling. All right, Homer's hand is healing good. The pins come out October 8th. Doing his physical therapy every day. Boy, he must have crushed it, huh? In a bad way. Wow. There is my newest channel member. Nomadic Camping with Endless Weekends is here, and a brand new channel member. So if you can drop your name in the chat so everybody can say hello, welcome to the channel and glad to have you. Thanks for being here. Yep, Tim's back in the LTVA. So CR View and Roy and Becky's Travels, which I have their cup here. They're full-time nomads down in Quartzsite. And so they're down there living through the whole summer. And then Oki and I will go up there in the wintertime and hang out with them for a week or 10 days. And then we're headed back here to our place. But yeah, check out CR View if you're not already subscribed, and Roy and Becky's Travels. Now, Roy and Becky do a live stream on Fridays. "62 Fahrenheit just after 2 a.m. That's pretty good. Watched CR View overnight. Very cool. That's right, Scotland. Crafty Traveler went to Scotland. And it looked like a really fun trip. I don't know if you're talking to me, Cheryl, or if you're talking to Lucas. Well, you must be talking to Lucas. Yeah, that's Lucas. Thank you very much. Kettle is on. Have my umpteenth cup of tea for the day. Yeah, we drink tea too, especially in the evening. There's a number of teas. In fact, there's one tea that's very relaxing that I like to have in the evening. Helps you sleep. You're welcome, Carol. One never thinks a rattlesnake has a scent. Well, that's a good point, Patrick. We had Lucas rattlesnake avoidance train after we got him. We got him from the Humane Society. He was about 1.5 years old. And labs love to put their nose in holes, right, and sniff and see what's down there. We have a lot of ground squirrels here, ground squirrels and pack rats. And if the hole is big enough, a rattlesnake will go down in that hole and basically live there. In our last lab, Duke put his nose into a hole, took a sniff, and he got bit on the nose by a baby rattlesnake. Now, that's a very expensive vet trip, I'll tell you that. He was also snake avoidance trained, and he didn't pick up on that young rattlesnake. And I think it's because until they don't develop the scent, the normal scent, I guess. But Lucas recognizes a rattlesnake in the area. And what do they say? Dogs' noses are like 7 or 10 times more sensitive than ours. And he can recognize that. So I'll explain the training that he went through. We took him to the Humane Society. They had set up 3 snakes. One was out in the open. One was in a cage. And then another one, I forgot the third one, was inside a basket or something, I think. So they had us walk our dog around. And then as soon as the dog goes down to sniff or look at the rattlesnake, they have a shock collar on them. They hit them with the shock collar. So they recoil, and then that's all it takes. We take them to the next snake, and then they say, no, that's bad, I'm staying away. The third snake, the same way. They even had one station where they had one rattlesnake that had been in this basket with a blanket in there, and they had taken the snake out, and Lucas picked up on that scent and backed off. So that's the snake avoidance training, and the experts told us that rattlesnakes have a unique scent, and that once your dog picks up on that and recognizes it, they'll stay away. And that's kind of the quick and dirty version of how that training goes. So we walk, we have 5 acres, but we have about an acre, acre and a half fenced in. We walk inside the fenced in area here. We watch Lucas as he sniffs around and checks the yard. And then when we make a loop back, then we go get his chucker stick. And then it's off to the races after that. Ooh, maple nut bar. Be right back taking my old lady pills. I know the feeling. All right. Finally got around to making a video of my stay in Ironwood, Ray says. It's about time. All right, we'll have to check that out, Ray. If you can, you're a moderator. If you want to drop a link, feel free. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Cheryl. I'll give you that 20 later, okay? Never had any issues with labs and holes. We just couldn't keep them out of the water, and that's what we don't have here. We don't have water. Now, we've taken Lucas and we took our last lab, Duke, to basically lakes and things like that, and they would step in, but we really never encouraged them to get, muddy and dirty. So they never really got into it, but I know labs are water dogs. Yeah, it's very, very nice to have. And so what happened with Duke was our chocolate lab. We knew there was a rattlesnake in the yard here when he was sitting on the back porch or the front porch, and he wouldn't leave. So, right, your dogs typically follow when you're out walking around. And we'd go out and start walking, and Duke would be sitting on the back porch, and we're like, come on, buddy, let's go. And he would not follow. So we knew right away that there was a rattlesnake somewhere in the yard. Now, we also had a Cairn Terrier. You guys know Cairn Terriers, they're mousers. They go after rodents. And I think they were bred in Scotland or somewhere over there for that purpose. They would go into rock piles, into cairns, and they would hunt rodents. Well, Maggie, who was our Cairn Terrier, so Duke is sitting on the porch. He says, I ain't going out there. Maggie is out in the yard, and she's basically alerting on where the rattlesnake is. So she would go out there with us, and then she would find the rattlesnake, and she would bark. And we could tell there was a rattlesnake because the pitch of her bark went way up. It was like a panic bark. And she had the same training as Duke did and as Lucas has had. And she would alert and just bark, 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 bark. So I knew it was time to grab the snake grabber. And then I'd go out there, and sure enough, she would have a rattlesnake there that's all ticked off at her, rattling and carrying on. Not like Rocky. Rocky is pretty mellow. Rocky's a pretty mellow rattlesnake. He doesn't bite, but he's got a manual rattle on him. But she would tell us when there was a rattlesnake in the yard. All right, there's a link from Nomadic Camping with Endless Weekends. Good, good, good. Cats are so fast they can avoid a strike, right? Right. We had a cat at the time. We had a Sasha, and she was I don't know what kind of cat she was. She was kind of a off-color striped cat, and she didn't leave the house. She was a smart girl, and she was pretty old at the time too. But yeah, cats are pretty good at avoiding strikes. Tiger snakes. Ooh. Now, cats here can be picked up by coyotes. In fact, we think we lost a cat with a coyote back when we lived in town. Somebody told us that they saw our cat had been picked up by a coyote. Traveling Merton and Sue is here. Probably Sue, and Merton's probably working today, so welcome, welcome. Listening, but can't text. Yeah, he is a smart boy. He has done a great job training us too. He knows his people, and we take good care of him, and he takes good care of us. It's his job, and it's our job. Yeah, that's a big deal down here, Cheryl. Snake avoidance training. You take your dog in that's after they've been bit by a rattlesnake, and it's a minimum $1,500 vet bill. If they have to stay a couple of days for the anti-venom treatment, it is more expensive. So I think the snake training costs us a couple $100. And now I have reinforced the training. So we haven't had, knock on wood, we haven't had any rattlesnakes up by the house at all this summer. Watch now, tomorrow one will show up. But we have not had any rattlesnakes around the house so far this summer. But we did have one or two. I think we had 2 last summer. So what I do is I grab them with a snake grabber. Do you like the balloons? I grab them with a snake grabber. I put them in a drum, a 55-gallon drum. Then I would take Lucas. We would take Lucas and we would walk him past that drum. And I would poke that. First, he's picking up on the scent. So he's looking around saying, there's a rattlesnake around here somewhere. I know he's here, but I don't know where he's at. So he gets all, antsy. We get him out of there, bring him back around, and then I poke the snake and get it to rattle, and he hears the rattle. He says, okay, that's a rattlesnake. I'm getting out of here. And he lickety-split. He gets out of the area. So just double checking to make sure that he remembers the scent, because they look at training them for scent, for visual recognition, and also for hearing the rattlesnake. So when they do the training, they work on all 3. That's right. The one rattlesnake that is inside a cage can't be seen. And so when it rattles, they want the dog to recognize the rattle. Wow, very nice, Janice. We had property on an island. We're surrounded by water. So your dogs were out there enjoying the water. That's cool. Okay, there's Ray's link right there for his channel. Looks like Roy's awake. Howdy, howdy. Welcome. You like my cup, Roy? Our snakes here don't come with toys attached. Very cool. Native predator we have here is a dingo. Don't see them anywhere in my neck of the woods. That's right. That's kind of I don't know how you classify a dingo. It's not a coyote. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, that's where we were living too. Tracy was in Tucson, and we had one cat that would go out, and sometimes we didn't see him for a couple of days, and then he'd come back. He was fixed, but he still liked to wander. And then one time he didn't come home. We put up the signs around the neighborhood, and one of the neighbors said, "I think I saw a coyote with your cat." 78 in Midwest Ohio, going up to 88. Yeah, where Jolly Matilda is, it gets really sticky there. We lived there for 3 years in that area in Hampton Roads, Virginia. It is very humid. Very cool. So Ray has a new subscriber. Dingo is a wild dog. Okay. IMG is here. Hello, hello. Another channel member in the house. How you doing? Good to have you. And G, are you coming back to Arizona? Back to the Ironwood area? If you are, let me know. People ask us a lot if Lulu is a dingo. She's not, but so she has the coloring of a dingo. Lulu's pretty mellow. Reinforcement is also good, yeah. Dog's age and memory fades. Lucas is young enough. I need some retraining for back to school. Oh yeah, you're going back to school. You never get tired of learning, right? When I retired, I needed something to do. So what did I do? I started my YouTube channel, or I actually picked it up and continued with it. Actually, have had it since 2011, but I didn't post anything. So since nomadic camping is here, I'm going to share his page so you guys can see his channel. So once in a while, I feature channels here, and let me show you his page. Share screen, nomadic camping. All right, so there's nomadic camping with endless weekends. He does a lot of camping and makes videos of his trips out there. Here's one he did 2 weeks ago. Let's click on that. We'll watch it.
You there?
So be sure to check out Nomadic Camping's channel. And if you're not subbed to him, be sure to subscribe. He's got a great channel, makes very good videos. And I watched one where he cooked a steak over the campfire. Made me hungry for steak. Ooh, crocs are the worst to be aware of. I won't see them unless they're, way north of Australia. Okay. I don't know if they're crocs or alligators, but we went down to visit my daughter in Louisiana, New Iberia, Louisiana, and there's one park that you walk through that have, I don't know if they're crocs or alligators. I guess they're crocs, but they're just out there in the water and kind of cruising around. They have signs up there that say, watch out for them, but they're not aggressive at all. Uh-oh, we had a big shake here. Not sure if a tree fell or an earthquake. Wow. Everything about Lulu looks like a dingo, except her personality, right? She's a sweetheart. There's Nurse TLC, Tanya. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Hope you're doing well. Oh, G has a job up in Oregon. I'm going to be moving over. I'm going to be moving over there this coming week. Well, congratulations, G. There's Lily T. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Another great channel supporter. She's involved in the challenge that Van Girl Cheryl put out there to make a video every day for 30 days. And so she's showing a lot of her walks and her fur baby Pippi. Oh, okay. Yeah, that video is still doing well when I have the ability, when we go to a meetup, I like to do tours, and Melonomadic Adventures has a great van. He's built 2 of them now, and I've done videos, tours on both of his builds, and he's really done a good job. And he takes a minivan and turns it into a camper van. So Marshall's a good guy and does a great job. So those videos are still doing well. And for those content creators out there, trying to find what they call an evergreen subject, one of those evergreen subjects that will continue to get views for you is like tours, and especially something that people are searching for. So a lot of people search for, you've got a minivan parked in the driveway. If I want to go camping with it, how do I convert it into a camper van? And Marshall has one of the best minivans that conversions that I've seen. He's really good. I have family. Things in Oregon should be a whole lot cheaper and more stable, and I'll have family in Lockley. Very good, G. That's good for you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that's right. Johnny builds vans too. She does the full size vans, and she'll take a van, the vans that they sell nowadays, or even if you're driving any vehicle, she'll help you modify. She's put fans in for people. Even out here at the Ironwood meetup, she was doing work out here for people. But she'll do a complete interior for you. In fact, she did a number of vans that we know of, and I did a tour of one of those too. One of my channel members, that was Gracie and Jock. She did their van and did a great job on it. And the nice thing that she does, that Johnny does, she owns Midwest Van Builders is the name of her company. She builds the van to suit the owner, and she's really good at that. So she can make modifications to fit you if you want her help on that. Sage just spent 3 months in doggy school. Very intense therapy dog program. Very cool. So, therapy dog program. So, therapy dog is not task oriented. Am I correct? Is a therapy dog just supposed to be mellow and stick with you? How does that work as far as therapy dog versus a dog who who needs to go get the newspaper or open the door for you or get something. Maybe you can help us understand that, Tanya. Either way, they're both just snappy handbags, Janice says. What the heck? It's only 85. Well, with a high of 102 in Q today. Uh-oh. Got to dig out the hoodies, huh? Roy doing a blanket howdy. I want to get another therapy cat, but I'm doing the training. Cats are, depending on the personality, right? We really enjoyed our cats when we had them. Anything that sits in your lap and cuddles with you is a good therapy, I think. Oh, kittens. Busy kittens. So Crafty Traveler says, one of my videos with the largest views, 29,000, is the video of my 80-year-old friend Sharon in her van. Yeah. People like to see van builds. It gives you a lot of ideas. And another good one to see is, I haven't seen him in the chat here, Tim. Mo Bang for Your Bucks. Mo Bang for Your Bucks does what he calls no-build van builds. So he takes a minivan and basically puts a bed in it and things like that without drastically modifying the van so that, he can flip the seats back and take people for a drive or a ride somewhere. And he does a really nice job also. Cats are tough, I think, tough to train. The term herding cats. Have you heard that term? We used to use that when I was working. This crew is like herding cats. They kind of go their own way. Oh, okay. So you're going to be doing service for other people then. We will be visiting hospitals and disaster area. Okay. So having a dog that doesn't freak out walking into a hospital, being comfortable with that. Okay, therapy dog visits patients in hospitals, schools, and nursing homes. Red Cross. I'm her handler, so we both had training to go through. Oh, okay. And who doesn't love a beagle? She's a good-looking beagle. I'm glad Q stayed 180 this season. By the time we get back, it'll probably be higher. Yeah, I'm not sure if they've announced the price hike for Quartzsite yet, but yeah, this year the price remains the same, I believe. All right, Ray, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it very much. There she is, She Devil Adventures. And Tommy is working on her bus. A project is never quite finished, right? So whenever you're building something, and she has a beautiful bus that she has built and continues to modify and improve on. I just watched a video this morning where she's considering modifying one of her cabinet tops, and she's really done a nice job on it. But yeah, a project is never quite finished. And I like projects. I need projects to keep me busy. In fact, we have a 10-year-old RV, a small Class A that we bought 5 years ago. And if you know the Desert Sun, the desert sun cooks everything. And so the vinyl decals on our RV are faded and cracked, and the sun has just ruined them. And so I've been working on stripping those off. And I've got the two sides done. I need to do the front and the back, and then I'll have that completed. But that's been my recent project over, well, I started it actually a year ago, but it's a lot of work to take those decals off. But I don't like the look of them when they're baked and they got cracks and they're faded. So I'm stripping them all off. I'd rather have it look simple. But when I take the decals off, there's kind of a shadow there where the original paint underneath, is nice and shiny and new. And the color is a little different because it's not faded. So it looks kind of cool with those shadow decals. Been watching a lot of no van builds for a van I can stand in, right? And as we age, I'm pushing 70 next spring. I'll be 70 years old. I'm not crawling around on my knees anymore. So a stand-up van is a good, solution, especially if you want to downsize and get simpler, right? Therapy dogs are trained to provide comfort to others besides just their handler. Okay. I think they've done studies on therapy dogs where it's very relaxing for people, especially when you're having medical issues, and you're already stressed. It's nice to have a trained dog. And I've seen, the golden retrievers are really good. Cats is hard to train just like people are, right, Patrick? Herding cats. What time of year is your tornado season in the States? Usually in the spring is when tornado season is. Tornado and in the big storms. Usually spring, late spring, early summer. There's Lee. Hi, Lee. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Tim is going to help me out with Laverne's build out. Well, he'll do a good job for you. Yeah. Is he going to come up there or is you going to come down here and see him down here, Cheryl? All right, Lily, you have a good day. Thanks for coming in, and give Pippi a hug for us. Okay, we did our first official visit yesterday and she did perfect. Very nice. Very nice. No price hike this season, but probably for sure next season, yeah. And I don't know if you heard, Roy, if they settled on what that level's going to be. I know they really were talking a huge price increase, but hopefully it's not too high. Used to be in the spring, but tornadoes are all year round and have been moving more south every year, Patrick says. And our weather seems to have changed here too. When I was growing up in Tucson, you could just about count during monsoon season, you could count on a storm every afternoon. So, it would heat up. We'd have that moisture coming in from Mexico, and then kaboom, we had thunderstorms, just about every afternoon or every couple of days. Now we're lucky if we get, one or two a week. And so it's changed. It's definitely changed. And of course, the desert suffers for the lack of rain too. That's what I do all the time. I herd cats. Yeah. Not successful, but I try. All right. Thanks for coming in, Nomadic Camping. Appreciate it very much. Headed to the dog park. The cheetah herds me, right, to giving them turkey treats. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, she has done a great job on her schooling. Haven't heard yet what the increase will be, huh? All right. So one other piece of news, we're coming up on 10 minutes to the hour. Oki and I are celebrating our 21st anniversary of living on this property. So I'll tell you a little story about how we found this place. So we're inside the Ironwood Forest National Monument, 129,000 acres out here, right? Inside the monument is 1 square mile of privately owned land. It's all private land. It's 640 acres. So in that 640 acres, it's been subdivided into 3 to 5 acres to 20 acres to 10 acres. There's all kinds of different sizes. I was out here working for the electric co-op about 22 years ago. And one of my neighbors out here to the south was having trouble with his water well. My job was a technician at the electric co-op, and so I would investigate power quality complaints. So he had a motor burn up on a water well. So I come out and I check the electric side of the service to make sure there aren't any hot connections, loose connections, good voltage, bad voltage. So I would clip on a voltage recorder and then leave it for a week or 10 days, come back and check it. And I could tell if there was a problem on the utility side or if it was, did his motor wear out? So I'm out here. Jim was a great guy, very easy to get to know. One of those guys is everybody's friend. And so I'm out here inside the monument. And I'd been out here one other time before that for another complaint. But this time I was kind of keeping my eye out for property. Looking for property. We lived in Tucson, wanted to get out of the city and kind of get out into a rural area. So I made that comment to Jim. I said, really would be nice if we could find a piece of property out in this area. And he said, well, Floyd's got that corner for sale. Got to go talk to him. So I did. I went and talked to Floyd, and then the rest is history. We ended up having a small home built in 2004. And so here we are on the 17th will be our 21st anniversary of acquiring the land and having the house built. In September 17th, we actually got the keys to the house. So that'll be, a nice milestone for us. Hoping to have some solid plans with him and Q this year. Okay, it'd be nice to see you down in Quartzsite. Oki and I are going to head to Quartzsite. We haven't decided exactly when yet, but we usually go up there and speak, spend a week or 10 days there. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. So Nurse TLC has Sage's training and visits on her channel. It's a whole new video series. Okay. And if you want to drop that, Tanya, feel free. Most of our severe weather's up north. That's right. And I've heard and seen some videos on the flooding there in Australia. It can be pretty brutal. Yeah, Tim is good. Tim's a great guy when it comes to doing van builds, and he'll help you out. That's right. Yeah. So Tanya's van has the same diesel 3.0 diesel engine that our truck does. In fact, I think it's the same year. Ours is a 2014, and we bought it brand new with a 3.0 diesel. It's a 6-cylinder with a turbo on it. And we had a lot of work done on ours too. It was the first year. and I knew that we might have trouble with it because it was the first year, but everything was covered that has gone wrong with it so far, and it's still running good. But they're trying to figure out what's going on with hers. Hopefully they do. That's right. Yeah. Tracy lived here in the Tucson area. In fact, she used to work out here at the mine, Silver Bell Mine. So, yeah, she's familiar with our monsoons. Oh, yes, we love it out here. And Merton and Sue have been out here a few times. Quick coffee break at work. Look at that. We got Van Vita Travels in the house. Welcome, Paula. Hope you and Nate are doing well. Starting to cool off up there where you guys are at, probably. We were 66 Fahrenheit here this morning. We're only going to be like 99. So we're enjoying that. Good to see you, Paula. Okay, there's a video series that Tanya dropped. So be sure to check that out. I hope you're a hugger. She is. Congratulations. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. Oh, very cool. We're doing great. Good to hear. Good to hear. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. We worked hard for it. When we bought this property, it was bare land, nothing but creosote bushes, and we had a few of these. I think we have like 25 of these saguaros. I haven't counted them recently. We have some babies now that are, 10 or 15 years old, but we have like somewhere around 25 saguaro cactus on our 5 acres. It's just loaded with them, and we really enjoy them. Yeah, Paula used to do a lot of work on her channel. In fact, we met her down here in Quartzsite when she met her now husband down here. And I think that was Box Fan D's meetup. All right, what else is going on here? Oh, Ava showed us fall colors. Are you guys seeing fall colors where you're at? She showed a maple tree in their front yard that's starting to turn. That was nice to see. One thing that we're getting into now, we used to grow roses. That was something else that's changed recently because it seems to have gotten hotter, and as the climate has changed, roses don't survive here real well. And so we have one of our neighbor friends gave us a desert rose some time ago. This is kind of what they look like. Those leaves are green, by the way. So this is one that we got recently, and you see they're a desert adapted plant, and they have these kind of a spindly arms, but they also have codex on them, it's called. And then they have these beautiful red flowers. They're adapted to the desert heat, and they're called adeniums, or their nickname is a desert rose. So we've got 4 or 5 of those, and I built a table for them. That's our front porch, and that table right there is where we keep some of them. And they're really interesting plants. In fact, I probably have a picture here I can show you. I think I've got one uploaded here. Okay, there's a better shot of it. So that bottom round part is called the codex. And what you do is the idea is to grow that bigger around as the plant ages. And so when you repot it, you bring the you bring the Codex up an inch every time you repot it, and then it gets bigger around. It's very unique. There's the newest bloom right there. And there's an interesting Codex right there. Just kind of a different plant. We're really enjoying them. Now, one thing that we also do here is we'll collect seeds off of our mesquite trees and our ironwood trees that we have on the property, and we propagate new trees. And we've got a number of trees that we have done that with. So these are some trees that we've potted, and we're actually seedlings. We actually will plant them out on the property once they get large enough. And then, of course, you have to water them for a couple years until they take off on their own. But we enjoy doing that. That's called desert gardening. We had, for those people that haven't been around, we did have a dust storm come through and blew over one of our Palo Verde trees. So I had to take that down, and then you can see a saguaro cactus in the background there. So this tree blew over, it pushed the saguaro cactus over, and so I had to cut the saguaro and also cut the Palo Verde tree out of there. So that was another big project. There's another desert rose photo. Really cool, interesting plant. We're really enjoying them. They're easy to take care of. Yeah, desert paradise, right? Yeah, we just absolutely love it out here. This is our paradise, all right. Thank you. Appreciate that, Crafty Traveler. Let's see, I lost my place here. Yeah, it'll be nice to see you. Hopefully you make it. If it's quartzite, we'll be up there sometime. Thank you. Appreciate that. Janice is wondering if Paula still has the Amblo. Yes, she does. Very cool. Yeah, it is interesting. Very interesting plant. And even Home Depot and Lowe's are selling them now. So they're becoming more popular, and you can pick them up for pretty cheap. Now, some of the higher end places that sell them, I mean, I've got one I paid like $42 for it. And that was early on when we were first getting into them. A hibiscus flower. Yeah, very similar, smaller. And the hibiscus flower needs more moisture to thrive. They don't do well here because it's just too dry and too hot. So we're up to a minute and 4 minutes. An hour and 4 minutes. So thanks everybody for being here today. I hope you have a great week. And let me find my outro video here. There we go. All right, we'll see you next time. Thank you, and have a good day and a good week.
Wake up to a brand new day. Smile at the sun's warm ray. Greet the world with open arms. Spread good vibes and charms. Kind words change the scene. Make life feel like a dream. Help someone who's in need. Plant a little kindness seed. Shine bright like a star. No matter where you are, kindness takes you far. Light up the world. Together we can make it. Love's the way to fake it. Leave a little joy behind. heal, make every moment real. Shine bright like a star, no matter where you are. Kindness takes you far, light up the world. No need for heavy words, be like chirping birds. Simple acts can heal, make every moment real. Shine bright like a star, no matter where you are. Kindness takes you far, light up the world. Light up the world.
To all my members out there, you lift me up so high. The support you give me makes me touch the sky. In every lonely moment, when shadows start to fall, your love shines like a beacon. I hear your heartfelt call. Thank you, dear members, for standing by my side. With your strength and courage, we take this wild ride. From morning's glow to starry night, you're the reason I shine, my forever guiding light. In the desert where it's dry, where the cacti proudly stand, you're my loyal companions, my devoted band. Through rocky trails and valleys, we gather every mile. Hand in hand we wander with your endless smiles. Thank you, dear members, for standing by my side. With your strength and courage, we take this wild ride. From morning's glow to starry night, you're the reason I shine, my forever guiding light. Desert where it's dry, where the cacti proudly stand, you're my loyal companions, my devoted band. Through rocky trails and valleys, we gather every mile, hand in hand.